Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, my name's Ashley. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to subscribe. And today's video is going to be about nursing school study tips. And this is a huge deal. I can't even tell you how many study techniques I have tried, how many things I went to the store to buy to help me study. And honestly, I finally have come down to my study technique that works. And I'm going into my 4th and final year of nursing, so it's better late than never, but this is what really works for me. It might not work for everyone, because I know some people, they like to read and that's how they study. Some people will listen and that's how they study, and some people like to write. I like to write all my notes out, and I like to rewrite them because I feel that's the best way that all the information will stick. So I'm gonna give like a quick little summary of how I like to study when I'm in school. So to start off, we have lectures where you go to class, you sit down, and the professor will just go through a whole PowerPoint of whatever course you're in. When I'm in the lecture, what I like to do is I like to bring my laptop, and I like to bring a notebook and pens and pencils. I open my laptop and I will just follow along with the professor as they go through the PowerPoint. And then I will have a notebook open next to me, and it can be any notebook. Anything, dollar store, Walmart, Target, wherever. Just get a notebook, and I do not write word for word what the professor says. If you do that, you are going to get so lost, your hands are going to ache. I just write out like things I don't understand as we go through the PowerPoint, so I can come back and look at it later. I'll write things that the professor says that isn't on the PowerPoint. I'll just write like little notes that stick out. I don't write like word for word at all. And what I do with that is I just continue to listen to the professor and take little notes. I don't type when I'm there. I don't go on Facebook. I listen. I'll try to like absorb as much information. And then I go home. And this is where the real studying comes into play, because nursing school, yes, the professors are there, they help, they teach, they do explain things, but there's so much information and they're not going to hold your hand 24/7. So a lot of it is studying on your own. So I go home and I will open the lecture that we had gone through earlier that day. And I will also open a Word document. And what I like to do is go through the PowerPoint and take out really important pieces of information and type them out onto a Word document. I don't like to write these out because my writing's messy, and I find typing it makes it super organized and I can follow along better. So I'll go through the PowerPoint and I will just take out everything that I see that's important. And I know it's hard to decipher, is this important, is this not important? Like, it's all gonna be important, but there's like little tips and tricks, like highlighted words, bolded words, italicized words, words that are like red. I don't like things that just stand out throughout the PowerPoint. You know, those are important. They're highlighted, they're bolded, they're italicized for a reason. Those are gonna need to be known. So what I do is I'll put those onto a Word document, and then I will print the Word document. So for example, I have my ethics course here with me, and I have just one lecture I had done, and I'll print it out. I'll take a little paper clip and I'll keep it all together. And then there is like my lecture 1, and this is huge because instead of having to go through the PowerPoint and this and that, I have it right here, right in front of me, and it's organized, neat, easy to read and follow along. And then I will go through and I will highlight certain words and things that I don't remember, things that I don't understand, so that way I know what to come back to when I look at these. And I like to do this as soon as I go through each lecture, because if not, you'll get pushed back so far, and come up to the exam time, you will be stressed out because you're trying to look at all the lectures at once instead of having them pre-done and going through them week by week. So after I print the lecture and I highlight and I read through it, I like to put it aside for the day, and I'll come back, say, the next day. And what I like to do that works for me is I will write things out. So I'll read it and try to write out everything I can remember. And then I'll go back, and things that I didn't remember, I will look at those and focus on that, and I will write it all out. And I write and write over and over until things stick in my head. And eventually, once I write it so much, I can recite it and I can remember it and I can recall it. So that's how studying, like that's how I like to study, and that's how it works for me, is by just rewriting things that I see. But I find by putting everything into this Word document, it takes a 30 to 60 page PowerPoint and puts it into like an 8-page document. And it's super easier to follow along. So that's how I study. And I would just store these in a little like pocket folder. You can get these everywhere, like Walmart, Staples, Target. And I just store all of those into my folders. And that's pretty much how I study for exams. So if you haven't tried this, I don't know. I know writing is a lot of work, but maybe this method will work for you. I know this is how it works for me, and this is how I really remember things and really ace it. Another thing, after I feel confident going through all these little Word documents I make and rewriting stuff out, I will go onto websites and I will just type in like multiple choice practice questions for nursing ethics or whatever topic you have. Nursing multiple choice practice questions for pharmacology, pathophysiology, like anything. And I would just go online and I would just practice a bunch of questions. There's also this book, which I bought off Amazon for like $70. It's such a good buy though, because this is going to be really useful for when you go to get your nursing license. And it is the 6th edition Saunders NCLEX comprehensive guide. It's huge, but it's so worth it. I've only used it a couple times, but I'm really gonna need to start using it this year because it's my last year, and it has everything. It has maternity, it has adult, it has pediatrics, it has like mental health. Every kind of topic you can think of in nursing is in this book, and it breaks everything down just into an easier way to understand and read. There's practice questions in it that you can go and practice, and I have seen a couple questions appear on exams that I practiced in this book. So that's a useful tip. There's also this book. It's like HESI style questions that we also get when we do exams in nursing school, and it's just like a HESI NCLEX review, and it's just full of questions. It's like a workshop book, and it's super helpful as well. It covers a lot of different topics as well, and I like at the end of it, I'm pretty sure the NCLEX book right here had it too, but it gives you like all kinds of lab values and lab ranges. So it's a very useful book. Another thing I was gonna say, reading, like I know you pay for books for each course. I have a hard time with reading. I find that there's just so much to read and I get overwhelmed because not only do we have to read, we have to go through all the lectures, we have multiple courses, and we have a life on top of that. So I try not to get too wrapped up in the reading, like readings for each class. I'll skim through them if I have time, but I like to focus on the lectures because that's what the professors pull from the book, because that's what they are trying to stress is the most important. So I feel studying what's off the lecture is like the main thing you should be studying. If you have time to read, go for it by all means. Every little bit's gonna help, but I just don't ever find I have time to read through the books, and I find it takes too long, and the information doesn't stick as well. So I just stick with what I see majority on the PowerPoints, and I'll just rewrite things off that. But yeah, so that's basically how I study when I go through courses. I just show up to the courses, try to absorb as much information they say. I will make little notes. I'll go home, I'll make a new Word document of the PowerPoint. I'll just pull important pieces from the PowerPoints onto the Word document, print that. That's my guide. I read through them, I rewrite them, and that's how I study. And I do that for every single one. So when they're paper clipped, it's just simple. I open my pocket folder, I pull out week 1, I pull out week 2, I pull out week 3. They're all there and they're all organized, and it makes studying so much easier. And I'll also link down some websites that I use to practice multiple choice questions below. I know sometimes schools will give out a certain website, like we use Evolve at our school, and yeah, you get like online books for the courses through it, and they allow you access to multiple choice questions. That pretty much sums up my study technique, and this is what does work for me. I have tried typing things out in the past, and I find it just goes in one ear, out the other. It's like I see it, it just doesn't get in my head. Same thing with reading. I find just writing stuff out really sticks with me. So it doesn't work for everyone, but I hope this has some helpful tips that maybe you guys can use, and best of luck to whoever's going through nursing school, because it is one wild ride. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be sure to post more videos soon.